Welcome to the Movement MFG podcast. I'm your host, Mike Barisanok. I'm here with
T-Swag.
T-Swag's in the house.
Yeah.
All right. Today we're talking about importing a product versus made in the USA and our surprising take. All right, let's go.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Back.
Thank you for the intro, T-Swag. All right, little housekeeping before we start. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm going to try to put it up here or here.
Somewhere.
Just
click
make
it.
sure to subscribe. Keep checking up to date with our podcast. All right, here we go. So let's get started. So China or import product versus USA manufacturing, our surprising take. Where should we start with this one? Should we start with our origins of our manufacturing process?
I think that would be a good part. So then once we hit to our peak, then we can talk about why we're implementing.
Perfect. So we started our manufacturing process in-house because we ran into a lot of struggles trying to get products manufactured, and we originally were starting with overseas. And really, it had nothing to do with the ethics and ethical part of the manufacturing process or the sustainability or whatever it might be. It had nothing to do with that. We just were looking for speed, efficiency, and all that. And so we really couldn't get that done, or we couldn't really do that well when we were starting out as a small group, especially. Just the lead times, turnaround times, everything about it. And so that's why we started bringing it in-house, really just for speed, flexibility, controlling inventory, all those good things. So, we want everything we do, we want to be ethical, but we also, our primary reason was basically, for speed, flexibility, reducing inventory, product development, all that good stuff. So that's kind of where it started, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't start it with you, but yeah, I'd say that was where you started.
That's where we started. All right, T-Swag, take us off with a couple notes here.
I mean, I think it is.
What's our surprising take?
Our surprising take is both are okay. We're happy to import if the time is right, and we also can still produce fully in-house as we will continue to do. But I think it's good to make note that because we have kind of reached what we can do in-house, we are looking to partner and, deal with other small batch manufacturers that can help us implement newer technologies and different design options that we wouldn't be able to do on our own.
Yep.
And I think
I was just thinking maybe I don't know if we, we've broadcasted it on our website and have started through social media, but we have also, yes, we make things in-house here in the USA, but we also just recently started partnering with factories overseas. Right now we have a handful. We've been vetting, we've sampled, we have established a really good relationship ongoing, so that way we know turnaround times, quality, lead times, everything is there. And we've really started to dive into that and do that and offer that option as part of our manufacturing process. Just, one, for us, scalability, but two, as basically what you were about to get into, and that's why I want to make sure to jump in to explain to people that we now offer this if they haven't seen it yet. Because of capabilities, because of the different types of volumes that basically we can satisfy for customers. Just the resources over there are basically unlimited. So if there's a resource that's not available here in the U.S., we want to make sure that we can still provide the very best technology and service to our customer. So that's why we started to do that. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's all good. I think, like you said, I definitely think it should be a point to make that, we are making relationships with these people and making sure that the products that we're going to be providing from them are still going to be just as good quality, if not,
low
better.
Low minimum, as you said too, and that's key. Is that we've been establishing the connections, based on, like-minded small batch manufacturers, because they're hard to find over there. Like I said from the beginning with us. Right.
I mean, it's even hard to find them here. I mean, that's why I feel like a lot of people migrate to us is because we have the ability to do everything in-house. So like you were talking about before, the lead times and everything. It's just for a small startup business to go get stuff imported.
Yeah.
It just takes way too long for them to actually get up and running. But I feel like we finally hit a point where we have everything up and running in-house, and now we're going to, go imported options just so we can start offering more diverse options that we wouldn't be able to technically offer in-house on its own.
Yeah, and another thing to that too is that having the common goal and problem is having the right inventory at the right time, the right amount at the right time, not too little, not too much, for when you need it. And I think that we're getting to a point where, we were, our interest from other brands and our manufacturing process has gotten to a point where, okay, we may have started to get like a little bit behind on, basically being able to deliver the right quantities because people's quantities working with us are growing. And so this allows us to make sure that we can still also, do that on time because, you can explain to them what it's like to have too much inventory.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shelf of things that you wish would sell that aren't selling, and now you got to try to figure out a way to make some sort of profit off of them, and they're not moving. So it's a dead end game here. I mean, it's like running at a brick wall as fast as you can. And it's gonna hurt every time.
Yeah, and then another thing to touch on too with the overseas manufacturing is just the resources. I briefly said it a second ago, but the resources of just fabric, equipment and capabilities, trims, and a few other things like accessories, skill sets to hire. It's the resources over there. Even when you work with some of the small batch cut and sew place over there, just easily at their fingertips, they can get fabric probably to them instantly, or at least that it's what we've experienced so far is when we've been sampling. They basically can find fabric that is just close to impossible to try to source down here in the U.S. So like you've working with our clients, tell them a couple examples of just like some trims, like when we were working on that turtleneck, like trying to source just some of those accessories and parts, hardware, to, for our customers, just like the uphill battle to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like every day we're looking for these particular accessories like elastics or whatever the clamps were that we were doing to kind of make adjusters and stuff. I mean, it was just more of like a trial and error process where I feel like they over there know exactly what you're looking for and they don't really need to go out and find it, because everything that we were getting introduced to is kind of like new territory to us, where they've been dealing with the same stuff over there and
or even with the suppliers, might be limited. I know we're trying to do the size of some of the trim or some of the hardware and the color to get the right size and color. You're pretty limited. This
is true. And I mean, you kind of gotta, you gotta take what you have and use it, because it's not like, like you said, the resources are very limited, and if you need something but it's not exactly what you want, sometimes you have to settle for it. And you might not be the most satisfied with what you had to settle with, but because we are so limited on what we can choose from, because I think it's just, even with that, there was that one time with the bra where they wanted the particular trim on the outside, but I think it was also another machine capability thing where we didn't have the machine that was even, I think it's like one specific machine that is made to put the trim on the outer sides there, or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
And it was going to be like a multiple step process for us to source the trim, 2, figure out how to put it on, 3, match the color. And I feel like that's where like the more customized stuff becomes more of an issue for us to try to figure out, is because we don't have the capabilities to match this orange color completely to be that exact orange color, where I feel like overseas there they have the ability to literally, you send them the color that you want and they can produce what you need. It might be a higher quantity, which is why people get stuck that are small businesses, like, I want this color particular, I want that to be very particular, and it's like, okay, we can do that, but you're going to order 500 to 1,000 units at a time.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going next with this, was that the big upside to USA manufacturing is speed. Not necessarily. Yeah, okay. Maybe if it's a little bit better, say minimum order quantity. A little bit better. maybe a little bit more flexible, but really it's speed because, you're not waiting, sample lead times are not coming from across the world. Delivery is not coming either by boat or you have to pay extra by freight or, whatever it might be. Sometimes it's a language barrier. I know like communicating.
I was going to say communication, I feel like might be the toughest part.
Yeah, communicating or even just the time zone, because I know when we communicate to our overseas partners, we're, it could be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, which, you just got to do. So like so the opposite of that, what the advantages to USA manufacturing, might be the downfall that like, is typically for small brands for, importing products, whether, China, whether it is, a few of those other places, but, is how, slow, the speed takes time. But what we basically have tried to solve is that, we tried to mirror our philosophy and our mindset to the small batches, quick, more, yes, a little bit more of a higher price point, but basically, to be able to get it to you quicker. So we've tried to solve what the issues were overseas for small brands and basically be able to partner with people who are like-minded with us, and that's what that's basically what we're trying to accomplish now, and pretty much have.
I mean, I'd say we're on a pretty good track to do so. And I think another good point is that with it being USA made, yeah, it can get done quicker, but like we were saying, there's a couple more limitations than you would have if you were to go overseas. So yeah, you might take a little longer to get what you want, but you're probably going to get exactly what you want because they have the technology, the capabilities, and the equipment to do, more things.
Yeah.
We're going to get it to you quick, but it might not be the exact thing that you were looking for because we're limited in some ends. Like, for instance, like the stitching, like it might not be the exact stitch that you want, but, when you're weighing your options, it's going to be, if we're going to be able to get you a sample a lot quicker than every time you got to go communicate with somebody overseas and, you got to wait a couple days for them to reply to you. You're going to get exactly what you want, but by the time you get it, it might be too far out, like you were saying, a little too late, whatever your little phrase was.
Yeah, too little or too much.
Because by the time, you figure out, oh, this is what we want, it might be, you might not want it anymore because it took so long.
Or the trend has passed.
Exactly. And I feel like, we're like the middle ground where it's like, okay, we can get you, oh, you want this? Here's what we can do, but we can get it to you quicker so you can get you off the ground quicker. But now that we have like an established brand as it is where we can do stuff in-house, we also have the ability to offer the imported goods because we already have a clientele that is, we're not starting up, growing. Yeah.
And I think that's it's what has led us to here, but it's but I think it's the future of our process too, is that the in-house very, very small batches, 12, 24, 30, whatever it might be, really help people get off the ground. It gets people turning over products. It keeps them keeping their styles fresh, quick. As they start to graduate, they want to do 100, 200 units. Some stuff we'll do right here, but other stuff, because they might want different capabilities, allows them to almost graduate into some of these other methods of manufacturing that basically we're providing. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the more options that you have, the happier you're going to be because you got more things to choose from. So now that we have the ability to offer them other options that we typically wouldn't be able to offer them, they're the doors are just they're opening up more because now it's not just what we have in-house. We have the ability to offer you other things that these other partner factories can produce for us. But like I said, they're producing them for us. So it's not like, we're just importing things that are, the generic pair of whatever. Like, we're still communicating very closely with them to, let's move this mesh up a little bit here. Like, so it's still,
they're just an
we're
extension
pretty much,
of us.
Yeah, we're designing everything they're producing for us, but they just have the capabilities, the technology, the resources to produce them at a quicker, easier, I'm sure we could do this stuff, but we'd probably have to go buy 3 more machines and, they just already have it all over there.
And again, like our speed might not be there for that certain product, but the speed,
this is true too.
Of these partner factories are there. And that's again, like that's the whole point of this, is that it, it's an extension of us to be able to provide the best technology and best service on top of what we're already doing.
Most definitely.
Do you have, before we give them the moral of the story, do you have any other notes that we might have missed?
No, I mean, other than the fact that, like I was saying before, I feel like the automatic assumption is that things that are being imported in.
Yeah. That I was going to tie that into the moral story. So yeah, go on with it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like is it stereotype, like the stereotype of imported goods are that they're not going to be as high as quality as something that's made in USA, and I feel like maybe like 20 years ago that was the case, but I feel like now that, like you said, the technology they have over there is so advanced that there's no reason that what they're producing is going to be any less. It's probably better quality, to be honest with you, because they just have the process down so well.
And I mean, believe me, you still have to be careful of it, because there's just so much distance in between, and that just again knowing who you're doing business with, it's not always easy. So you have to be careful, but we're doing it for you.
Right, and I feel like because
we're partnering with quality,
like we said before, we're establishing these relationships with people, and if they don't seem like they have or are a good fit for what we're trying to do with them, then we find somebody else. We're not going to just give them business because they have something that potentially we could use. We're trying to create more of a relationship and a connection with these people, and then be able to implement them into our process of like, okay, here's how we want you to help. What can you provide for us? And if we don't align, then we're on to the next one.
Yeah. And so the moral story is like, yes, okay, made in USA is awesome, but there's a lot of benefits if done right to overseas manufacturing. And I think that we're finding is that a combo between the two is basically max efficiency, max quality, and that's what we're going for now. And so if anybody,
I mean, at the end of the day, we're just trying to offer you the best of the best, and that's about it. I mean, the best things we can offer, we're trying to offer you those.
Yeah, and I know this episode was more about us versus the industry and the process and everything like that, about our services, but I think it was a good point to talk about that. If you are going to go try to find manufacturing over there, it's not all poor quality. It's not believe me, but you just have to be careful with who you're working with, and but I guess that goes for anything.
I mean, I feel like this is there's definitely a lot of people this is going to resonate with, because I feel like there's a lot of people that wanted to start brands, and what they first did was reach out to overseas production because they're like, I'll be able to get it cheap, this, that, and they realize that it's a difficult process to, even get a sample from them over there, get the sample in your hand, figure out what you want to do. When you can go to somebody like us, where you can come meet with them first person, sit down and have a conversation, we can talk about the capabilities and things we can do for it. Yeah, you're probably going to be able to get off the ground a little easier. But when you reach a point like us where we have a well-established, clientele and market, then we can easily implement these things, because what we'll be implementing are going to be great quality products that our customers have never seen before.
Definitely.
So stay tuned for those, because
we could talk more
soon.
We could talk more about it, talk more about our capabilities even as we implement them on future episodes. All right, we good?
I think that's about it.
All right, so make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our latest episodes, to make sure that you're always up to date on the industry, and basically all information that we can bring to you. All right, till next time.